Something is eating your crops. You already know that. But here is the part that catches most allotment holders off guard. By the time you notice the damage, the culprit has almost certainly already moved on. The nibbled leaf, the hollowed out pod, the seedling that was there yesterday and simply is not there today. These are not signs of an ongoing attack. They are receipts. Evidence left behind after the fact. Your plot is not being raided. It is being quietly picked over, a little at a time, by creatures operating on schedules and instincts that have nothing to do with your growing plan. Understanding that changes everything. A raid is dramatic. A fox tearing through your sweet corn, a pigeon descending in numbers. You see it happen, or you find the wreckage and the cause is obvious. Picking over is different. It is incremental. It is almost invisible. A slug takes one mouthful from a lettuce at 2 in the morning and retreats before dawn. A vine weevil larva feeds on roots underground for weeks before the plant above gives any sign. A cabbage white caterpillar hatches on the underside of a leaf and feeds inward toward the center, where you are least likely to look. None of these creatures are being strategic. They are simply following chemical signals, temperature cues, and moisture gradients. But the cumulative effect on your plot can be significant, and the reason it goes unnoticed for so long is that each individual event is tiny. Slugs are the most obvious answer, and they do cause considerable damage, but they tend to get all the attention while other, quieter operators go unexamined. Vine weevil larvae are pale, C-shaped, and live entirely below the soil surface. They feed on roots through autumn and winter. By spring, when the plant collapses, the larvae have often already pupated and are preparing to emerge as adults. Flea beetles are tiny, dark, and move fast. They create small round holes in brassica leaves, particularly in dry weather. Most allotment holders see the holes and suspect slugs. Flea beetles rarely get the credit. Cutworms are the larvae of several moth species. They live just below the soil surface and sever seedling stems at ground level overnight. A plant cut cleanly at the base, lying on the soil in the morning, is almost always cutworm damage. It is frequently attributed to something else. Leather jackets, the larvae of crane flies, feed on roots in a similar way to vine weevils. They prefer heavier, wetter soils and tend to cause the most damage in plots that have recently been converted from grass. Each of these operates in a different zone. Different depth, different timing, different target. Your plot is not dealing with one problem. It is dealing with several, layered on top of each other, mostly out of sight. None of these creatures chose your plot randomly. They are responding to conditions you have, in part, created. Bare, disturbed soil is enormously attractive to egg-laying insects. Slugs concentrate where moisture is highest and shelter is available. Dense, leafy crops with humid microclimates are more appealing than well-ventilated ones. Plots with high organic matter support larger invertebrate populations. That is not an argument against composting. It is simply a fact about the ecosystem you are building. This is important because it reframes the question. The question is not how to stop your plot from being picked over. Everything edible gets picked over eventually. The question is how to reduce the density of pressure at the points where it matters most. Timing is one of the most underused tools available to the allotment holder. Many of the most damaging pest cycles are highly seasonal. Vine weevil adults lay eggs in late summer. Cabbage white butterflies have 2 peak flight periods, one in spring and one in late summer. Cutworm damage is heaviest in early summer. If you know when the pressure is highest for a specific crop, you can sometimes shift your planting window to avoid it. Physical barriers are more effective than most other interventions and require no chemicals. Fine mesh netting over brassicas from the moment of planting eliminates cabbage white damage almost entirely. Copper tape has a mixed evidence base, but well-fitted fleece or Enviromesh, pinned properly at the edges so nothing can get beneath it, works consistently. Soil surface management matters more than most growers realize. Slugs need shelter during daylight hours, reducing the number of hiding places near vulnerable crops, clearing debris. Removing boards and stones close to seedling beds in peak slug season reduces the local population significantly. Night checks are unglamorous but effective. A torch and a bucket of salty water on a warm, damp evening will reveal exactly what is operating on your plot and where. Do this twice in a single week, and you will learn more about your actual pest pressure than a season of daytime inspections. Encouraging ground beetles is one of the most productive long-term strategies available. Ground beetles are voracious predators of slug eggs, small slugs, vine weevil larvae, and other soil-dwelling pests. They thrive in undisturbed soil margins, under stones left specifically for them, and in permanent bed edges with dense low planting. The more of them you have, the quieter your plot becomes over time. Your plot is almost certainly being picked over by several different species at once, each operating in a different layer, at a different time, mostly invisibly. The practical response is not panic. It is targeted timing, physical barriers, and building the conditions that support the predators already working in your favor. So, over to you. Which pest took you the longest to correctly identify on your plot, and what was the damage you had been wrongly blaming it on all along? Leave your answer in the comments. And if this helped you understand your plot a little better, subscribe to GrowAllot Studio. There is always more going on down on the allotment than meets the eye.